Hello, Gemini. Welcome. I'm Ryan. Thank you for being here. It's going to be a general reading, so of course everything may not resonate. Take what does and leave the rest. And for more tarot readings after this, please check out my wife's channel, Val 53 Tarot. She'll review as well. Thank you. All right, let's see what's going on. So right away, Gemini, what you're showing me is you definitely have done really well for yourself. Now, with this consideration of some type of accomplishment, there's also a pretty self-aware consideration as to what to say, what not to say, what to communicate, what not to communicate. Ultimately, what you're communicating to someone is there needs to be something something needs to be done. There needs to be something taken care of. Interesting. There needs to be something taken care of. I don't feel like that's the right verbiage, but something of a decision is being made as to how to take care of things that are very upsetting to you. Ooh. Yeah. It's regarding a commitment or a marriage. Could be a family matter. That same energy again. That same energy. What is that? Goodness, what is that, Gemini? What is that? What is that? You're showing me that same exact energy I've been sensing from you for a while. What is that? It's like something needs to be done. Something needs to be taken care of regarding the commitment, the marriage, and the relationship. And it seems and feels like when it's being brought up to be addressed, it's kind of like it doesn't work out. And that's what's very interesting is that something here is like, unfortunately, just not working. It's like something's just not working, but it's also causing a fixation as to why. And the wondering of the why has you thinking and trying to put together and possibly, I'm not going to say strategize, but you're trying to work with this in such a way where it's kind of like, I don't know. There's that fixation on the not knowing. And you're kind of having the realization of like, well, it could be this, it could be that. And you're trying to piece it together. But then you're also having the idea of like, maybe it's just to move on and move forward and let it go. That's interesting. You go from 0 to 100 fixation really quick, but then you're kind of like, maybe I should just drop this. There's definitely interesting. There's definitely like some, I don't understand that. You're moving away from your commitment in your relationship over to focus on some other connection. And that's what's interesting is whatever this connection is over here, it's like the two, it's like you're using this other connection or relationship possibly to deal with the pain or the difficulty. How very interesting. Like you're how do I say this? You're managing your connections. You're like, I have to say it, Gemini, you're pulling some sort of emotional strings here with who you're dealing with. Because like I said about the beginning and initial stages of this, you present yourself as the one who's like communicating and reaching out and being active to all these other connections or relationships. But then it's like because something doesn't go right or correct or a certain way here, you go over to that other connection and it's kind of like, well, that's okay. I'll just figure it out from this connection. But it's like whatever, it's like as you're trying to figure out how to like piece things back together again, it's like you're finding out it's not that easy. It's not that easy. Yeah, it's not that easy. Easier said than done. It's not just communicate fast and all of a sudden everything goes poof back to normal again. It's like, no, there's action, there's follow-up effort, there's give it some time. You're kind of showing me, it's like, no, it all makes sense. It all makes sense. Fingers crossed, it all makes sense and it all will come together. And it's like, yes, it will. It's just an energy of a certain order of things need to happen or take place first. You just cannot talk 1,000 miles an hour and expect relationships or connections or anything really to just fix itself or solve itself just based off of purely communication. It doesn't work that way. You can say sorry 1,000 times and it's like, yeah, that's your words though. That's not your actions of you showing someone that you're sorry. Just as an example. I'm not saying that this is in this dynamic. It's just you're showing me that you're having a realization that's like you may need to do something different. It's like possibly. Yeah. I feel like yeah, it's this energy. It's interesting because whatever this energy is, you're making that decision to want to make things right again, and that's what I'm talking about. It's an active, conscious decision to make things right, not just say that you're going to make things right, but actually do it. Because you're showing me I want to put things back on track with this connection, with this relationship, or family situation. I don't know what it is, which one it is. Oh, Gemini. Oh, Gemini. That is. Geez, Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. I don't understand that. I don't understand that, Gemini. It's like everything was progressing, then all of a sudden you just flipped to the other side. You just flipped to the other side, and it's like, huh? It seems like you have understand. It's like it seems like you reach understanding and clarity as to why you're going through what you're going through and what you're experiencing, and then all of a sudden you're kind of like, well, then fine, then I'm gonna do this, and then because you do that, there's definitely some sort of communication here between you and someone. Once again, like I said, you're pulling some strings here, Gemini, and I don't know what this other string is. You're dealing with the relationship, commitment, or marriage. You're also dealing with, I don't know if this is a friendship or a connection or a separate connection between you and someone. I don't know. You're going around to these different relationships or connections looking for something there. And I don't know what that's about. But whatever this last one is, where you're kind of fantasizing for a split second moment, there's some sort of communication between the two of you. And then you're having to try and contain or control yourself because of temptation. I don't know what's going on. You're kind of showing me that there's something going wrong in your marriage. Understandable. You would want answers. Understandable. Then you're coming over here to this connection to, in a sense, try and help yourself heal. And then you're like, okay, well then maybe there's a way to kind of put all this together. And then you're kind of like, okay, now about this connection over here, it's like you have a connection. Each connection for separate, how do I say this? You've compartmentalized your connections. Don't know. And then love on top of the deck, new love. It's like, goodness, Gemini. I don't know how many connections you're involved in or who all you're juggling and what situations, scenarios, but goodness. Hold that thought. Let me see if I can get more on this because yeah, and you're kind of like, that person might work, and it's like, goodness, Gemini. You're bouncing. You're monkey branching from connection to connection to connection, looking for someone who will kind of, I don't know. Actually, I don't know where this is going. But of course, if you are dealing with anyone, you could be dealing with an earth sign, an air sign, a fire sign, or a water sign. They're all here. Goodbye.